first, I have to say it is an honor to have a chance to meet you because I've been watching some of your music videos and your performances, including like the one you did at the Elmo Combo. Fierce,
Thank you.
fierce,
Thank you.
bold, strength. It reminds me of the days of watching Tina Turner perform and seeing all that fire coming out.
I love
I
that.
feel
I
like
love
there
that.
has to be like I feel like the Toronto Fire Department needs to be outside of your performances every time you hit the stage because you're going to burn something down.
Absolutely. I love that. Absolutely.
So much. Before I even get into everything that we're going to talk about, where does that strength come from? Because for a young woman these days, I mean, I don't see that strength, but I see it in you.
I feel like it comes from my passion for performing. I love performing. I love putting on a show. I love entertaining. So I feel like that's where that fire comes from. Absolutely.
Well, it is much deserved. Also, it is much deserved is what we need to talk about because you and a group of great artists have been honored with something from an organization that goes way back. What are you part of?
I am part of the Canadian Music Awards. I want to shout out the SOCAN Foundation for that. I want to shout out everybody that helped me get to that point. I'm just so excited to be a part of that. Shout out Billboard Canada, man. Trust me.
How did you get on the list? Like, did you have to submit? Did they just go, no, we got to put her on?
I had one of my engineers kind of put this idea in my head. I didn't even know that I could apply for these things, you know.
Mhm.
I'm just starting to get serious, I would say, like with the music over the past couple of years. So I'm still learning, you know, and my
Yeah.
engineer let me know that, hey, these things are possible. So I said, oh my goodness, like let me give it a shot. And I applied, and lo and behold, I got it. And I was so excited. I was just applying with like just hopes of like, you know, this is my first, let me try, like, you know. And I actually I won, and I was so appreciative, man, because this is a different kind of opportunity for somebody like me where we are come from nothing, you know. So for me, it was definitely a big deal.
Well, let's put it this way. You have a great story, and I want to get into that too, because Brampton and Toronto is sort of like the lead and where this all starts. So let's start off with Brampton before
Yeah,
we get into Toronto. And Brampton is really hometown before we get into Toronto.
no, Toronto's hometown,
Toronto.
that granted.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
let's reverse it. Thank you.
yes, so I was born and raised in North York, and when I say raised, like I mean like I started when I went to Brampton, I was in high school, so I started
Right,
grade
grade
nine.
eights.
Yeah, grade eight. So I started
Right.
grade nine in Brampton High School. So I did my last year in elementary. So grade eight, I did that in Brampton. And then my entire 4 years of high school, I did in Brampton. Shout out Campion. You already know. But yeah, so that's pretty much where it was. And then when I was in high school and when I was in Brampton, I loved to dance, and I was doing stage shows, and every competition I'm in it. And you know, I just love music. It's just my thing. So I got into that. And then after that, after I finished high school, I moved back to Toronto. And that's when I started to tap into my own sound. That's when I recognized that I have a sound like myself. So I said, okay, let's try it, you know? So yeah.
So let's go back though to North York before we go back over to Brampton. What was it like growing up in North York? Because when we talk about North York, you got Little Jamaica, you got Little Italy, you've got Greektown, you've got so many, um, that melting pot around you. Then you have television.
Yeah.
BET. You've got all these other flavors that are honing in. Things are going on in the States. What was
Yeah.
that like for you to have all of that surrounding you?
For me, I feel like it shaped me to be who I am today. And let me tell you why.
Hmm.
I feel like growing up in Toronto, I didn't really stay at one residence. Like I bounced around kind of. I'm an only child from my mom. It's been pretty much me and my mom growing up. She's been a single mother since I was 2 years old. So she's been trying to make it work the best way she could. And I was just adapting to every and like all the different environments that I was in. And I feel like so that's where I feel like my Toronto slang and just the Toronto attitude comes from. And then where the patois and the Caribbean style kick in is that's the only thing that's been consistent really is
Right.
I've always been my background is Jamaican and Guyanese, predominantly Jamaican, so I feel like that's where that part kind of kicks in because that's the only thing in my life really that didn't change, if that makes any sense.
That
So
makes
it's engraved in me. I can't help
okay.
it.
No, that's okay. And shout out to Guyana. That's my family, Guyanese. So we have to give a shout out there too. So can I say that your mom was your first strong influence? And if so, how did she help mold you in such a crazy world that's going on around you to make sure that you were instilled with that black woman power?
My mother introduced me to music at a very young age. Like when I say very young age, I mean Saturday morning, you wake up, you're cleaning, the speakers are bumping, and we're listening to my mom's listening to all different kinds of music, right?
Mhm.
Dancehall, reggae, rap, R&B. That's where I learned all the music that I've heard like as a child. So I think just with that, but she also let me know like when she would see me dancing and stuff and singing and stuff, she would let me know, like, I know that you love this music and stuff. You kind of have to also understand though what you're singing, type thing, and just make sure make sure that you stay grounded. So I kind of carried that with me when I started to make music of my own. And it's like I pop out and say what I want to say, but I also stay true to myself. I can't help it. This is what I know. So I feel like my mother shaped me to be exactly the woman I am today, and she's very proud.
Bravo. Now we go to Brampton. Now
Yes,
you have friends because when
yes,
we're talking about grade 8, grade 9, 10, 11, this is another influence because we're talking about the way we dress, how we speak to people, how we allow people to speak to ourselves, the
right.
music, the dance. How was that now shaping you in going towards this industry?
So in high school, how did that shape me? First of all, tough crowd. The kids I went to high school with, they tell you the truth. Huh? Tough crowd. But I wasn't really like I wasn't making music like that in high school. I was more so
Mhm.
dancing. Like when I say dancing, I mean like choreographed dances. Like I was a part of the dance team and I would create dances for other dancers to do when they join competitions. I would be the one that would create these dance routines for them and that kind of stuff. So it really was more so the dancing, but everybody always knew that I love music. So even just the dancing alone, if it's not up to par, they're gonna let you know that exactly that. You know what I mean? So I feel like the kind of like thick skin came from there, and then it kind of gave me the confidence to say, "Man, I know they know I have an ear. They know I have a great ear. They're gonna
Mhm.
love this." And yeah, lo and behold, by the grace of God, they do.
I want people to truly understand what you mean by a tough crowd. And the reason why I say that is because years ago, I used to MC at a lot of the Caravana, when we call it Caravana.
Yes.
Now they call it Carnival.
Hmm.
I hosted a lot of events where it's 10, 20, 30,000 people. And to the grace of God, they loved me.
Hmm.
I've seen MCs and performances where they have no problem in stoning you literally and cuss you off the stage. Can you talk about that and being able to maintain that strength?
Yes. So that's why they call this the screw face city because I feel like Toronto, I feel like we have a like such a tough crowd because exactly what you said, DJing around Carabana times or like I just know how Caribbean people stay only because that's where I grew up with those kind of people and I know that they're brutally honest. I know
Mhm.
that Toronto is made up of different cultures. A lot of the kids that I grew up with was just as myself, first generation Canadian. So our parents are from, you know what I mean? All these different islands and stuff like that. So all
Mhm.
we know is that brutal honesty. And when of course everybody got to school, we still practice that same energy, right? That we're used to that's in our household. So that is why. So in a time where someone would say like it's a bad thing, it's also a good thing too, because it's shaping you up, it toughen you up, and you're able to take criticism and you're able to learn from your mistakes and that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's how high school really shaped me when it comes to this music thing, because boy, they're gonna let you know.
They're going to let you know. But what about your fashion sense? You have a great fashion sense. Where did that develop from?
Thank you. So my fashion sense, I feel like I was always into fashion and stuff only because I always loved dancing, right? So you join a dance competition, you're ready to strut your stuff with your team. You better make sure you
Mhm.
look the part. You know what I mean? So it's always been like a fashion thing for me. Like I always want to make sure that I look good and my girls look good and like that kind of thing. So it always just came with me, really. That's
How did
that's
you use the fashion sense with the dancing? Because I'm a guy. I've never worn heels. I don't know how you all move like you move
Mhm.
in heels. I don't know. How did you end up combining that?
All right. So a big part of it is practice. It's doing it over time.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's gonna be that paranoia because nobody wants to fall, right? Nobody wants to look stupid, right? So it's gonna be that practice. Ooh, I don't know if I can say it. But nobody
You
wants to look
can. Yes, you
foolish.
can. Yes, you can.
Okay, so nobody wants to look foolish. So I feel like just over time wearing heels and trying to get different outfits together, getting matching outfits together, you kind of pay more close attention to what you're putting on and your physical appearance only because of what I mean, where I'm coming from type thing. So I feel like that just all of my experiences really when it comes to the fashion, I think about those things when I'm ready to what they would call put it on, right? When I'm ready to put it on, I think about all of these things. It all goes hand in hand.
Got you. And I should correct myself. Yes, there are guys who can do the heel thing. I just know I can't do it. I will be the one who falls over and breaks his neck. So let me
Yeah.
clear myself up with that. So now you leave high school. What is the plan? Because do you have people in your ear going, why are you doing this? It's just a fad. You should not be doing this. You should be going to university and studying to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever.
Mhm. So I am blessed enough. Like for me, my mother has always been supportive of everything I've ever wanted to do. I could say, mommy, like, I'm gonna ride bikes, and she's saying, all right, you're gonna ride bikes, you make sure you finish it. That's what she's saying. So
Mhm.
she's saying, whatever you do, make sure you give it your all and you go hard at it. Like, it's whatever makes me happy, type thing with her. So yeah, pretty much it, it's been a journey. It's really been a journey, and she has been there like from the jump with me. So that being said, like that just gave me the confidence to be who I am and to jump out the box and to kind of just put on the best face I can.
So then what was the move then? You're out of high school. You know
Yeah.
this is the
So
industry you
from
want to be in. So where do you go next?
Right. So from she's been supporting me since I was a kid, and then I went to high school, and then I was doing the dancing, the choreographed dancing thing with everyone, and then I left Brampton, and then I moved to Toronto, and I was singing. I always loved to sing, but I never took it seriously. And then when I
And
left,
sorry. What year is this when you're doing this now?
okay, so this I would say I graduated high school in 2012. So
Okay.
I would say 2015. I would say.
Okay. And the reason why I'm asking that, and I want you to continue because we're slowly leading into when the world changes, which is COVID. And that's a
Mhm.
very distinctive part. So
Absolutely.
talk leading into that.
Yes. So I left high school. I started to sing kind of roughly around 2015. I started to dabble into the R&B. I started to dabble into dancehall because I felt like that was an easier route for me at the time. And then I was doing it. I was doing it for a little bit, and I was taking like vocal lessons, and I feel like I was putting in. I feel like I was putting in the work, but I wasn't as confident as I wanted to be. And I'm like, how can I still do this? Because I love to put my personality in my music. And I'm like, how can I still do this, still make music and put my personality in it and make it work? And then I said, maybe I should try rapping. Maybe that
Mm.
could be a thing because I noticed that when I sing, it's I would say, much more difficult to express yourself when you're just holding a note rather than when you just say what you have to say. It was giving me a lot more space to be witty when I started
Yes.
rapping. So
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should try this. And then I started dabbling in different freestyles, and I was the remix queen. I was doing the remix of this song, remix of that song. I was making a bunch of remixes. And then COVID hit, and I did a remix of Welcome to the Party by Pop Smoke and RIP Pop Smoke. And when I did that, that whole mod try a thing, everybody was loving it. They were like, "What? You can rap?" I'm like, I guess. I'm like, I guess that's what's going on now. So I always knew I loved music. The rapping thing just came about around COVID times, and I've been running with it ever since.
What kind of stories do you like to tell through your music? Yes, the beats itself tells it all about having good
Yes.
times, but what specific stories do you like to tell through your journey in this industry?
So I like to do scenarios in my music. I know I haven't put out a lot of scenarios yet, but they're in the works. I have a lot of different ideas and a lot of things that I already have recorded that I just haven't released yet. But I'm in love with scenarios when it comes to music. So, and it's not only my scenarios. I'll use my friends' scenarios, my family scenarios, like different scenarios that I hear about, and I'll twist it to try to make it like to try to recreate it type thing, to make it a little bit more interesting or a little bit more funny or however I want to portray it. So yeah, that would pretty much that would be it really. I use everyone's scenarios, and I to try to make those kind of songs. Or if I'm upset, I will start writing a song. If I'm happy, I will start writing a song. If I'm feeling very, very confident, I'll start writing a song. So yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Are there two different people? Is there a person that we see on stage who is fierce, just amazing? Let me say that. I'm stumbling over my
Thank you.
words.
Thank you.
I apologize. Who is fierce? That's the word I wanted to say.
Mhm.
I say respectful, extremely sexy, and knows how to use that power in her music and stage performance. To the person that wakes up in the morning, maybe puts on fluffy slippers, grabs a coffee or a tea, and might be watching, her favorite show and talking to a friend. How different are they?
They used to be very similar. I feel like now, as I'm getting older and starting to learn my sound a little bit more, they are a little bit more different. And I say that because on my music, I will definitely come off as, like loud and outgoing and sometimes even aggressive, and you know what I mean? And the real me on the inside, what I like to do on my downtime is kind of just relax at home type thing. Not so much turn up queen, you know what I mean? But in my music, I definitely give that. And I feel like it's the music that gives me that energy. Like when I hear a beat, I will be minding my own business and doing my own thing and idle.
Mm.
And when I hear a beat, it's like my eyebrows start to go this way, and like it's up now. Like, like that's pretty much what it is for me. Like, so it's really the music. That's why I always say the music makes me feel. I always say that because the music makes me feel. Like if I hear the beat and it's going, and I'm saying, okay, like I can rock with this, then you'll get double M. You know what I mean? But I just feel like now that I'm older, it's when I'm starting to see a difference. When I was younger, everything much up in one. But now I'm kind of learning how to um separate the two, I would say.
And that's the other important question. How do you turn one on and turn one off? Because of course the public will always see you as the stage. Some don't
Mhm.
want to see you the other way. How do you
Yeah.
turn it on and how do you turn it off and balance it so that mentally you're okay?
Okay. And it depends on the vibe, because in the same ways that Double M and I are different, is we're the same in different in other ways. So
Mhm.
how I turn it on and turn it off, I would say definitely when it comes to my performance, or even when it comes to me writing, I just get into that zone. And I pretty much just put this like tunnel vision focus in my head when I hear the beat. Like you're
Yes.
not moving from here until you know what I mean? You're not moving from here until you write something, even if I'm not feeling it. And I feel like that's what gives me that drive. Like that's what puts that switch in my head. Like, yes, double M time. And then after, when I'm finished and I finish recording and I put down the headphones on the mic, now it's okay. Now I just want to go home and relax and have a glass of wine and just relax. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. So I feel like the music is what switches it in my head, to be honest.
Are you sure about that? It's not your mom in your head?
That too. It could be that too. Because that lady, it could be that too. You know, I feel like I hear my mom sometimes when I'm making my music. I just hear like I say something and I'm saying, that is so Christine. That is so Christine. And if I said it, she'd be mad. Like, you know, so absolutely. It's definitely the music. And I would say my mom too. Big part of that.
What about new music? What's going on in 2024 with you?
In 2024 with Big Double M. She's working on her first project, her first EP that she's so excited about. And I can't wait for you guys to hear it. And that's why this Black Canadian Music Awards was so important to me, because I've always wanted to do my own EP and make sure I do it properly and put out good quality work. And, you know, an artist just starting out, one of the biggest hindrances for us is funds, right? So that's why I say I'm very grateful for this opportunity and I'm going to make the best out of it, because number one, it's not everybody gets this opportunity, and number two, according to my mom, mina have no choice. So I have to do what I have to do, right? But I'm definitely so excited for 2024. It's up. I'm my first project is gonna come out. More music videos coming. I hope to do a lot more shows. I don't want to speak on them too quickly, but I already have some stuff lined up for 2024. So I'm excited. I'm over the top about it.
And I can't go away without asking, Double M, where did that name come from?
Double M. So my name is Marika, right? That's my name is Marika, and I love music. So Marika Music is what makes Double M,
There we
right?
go.
Right?
I love that. As we
Yeah.
wrap this up, what advice do you have for any young women who are trying to get through this business? I mean, the business is opening up more for women, but as we know, not enough.
Not enough, but it's
Not enough.
opening.
It's
It's not
opening.
enough, but there's progress,
There's
and if
progress.
we have progress, we have something. We're making something shake. You know what I mean? So, what I would say to those young girls is, do it, sis. Nobody can tell you you can't do this. Nobody can tell you, oh, you shouldn't be saying this, or oh, you shouldn't be. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you decide that today you want to sing, if you decide today you want to rap, if you decide today you want to play checkers, go play it. Nobody can tell you. Nobody should be able to rip that away from you. It is your dream and it is what you want to do. And if you do not believe in yourself, sis, nobody else will. So you have to show them what's up, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Amen to that. Double M, it's an honor and pleasure speaking with you. Congratulations on your new honor. Looking forward to everything you're going to be doing in 2024. I know you're going to be an amazing influence in this industry. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. And I just want to say thank you once more to SOCAN Foundation. Thank you so much to the Black Canadian Music Awards. And thank you so much to Billboard Canada. I am honored, and thank you for having me today. I appreciate your interview. And you asked some very good questions, by the way. So thank you for that.